Okay, I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, June 30th, 2026 to order at 7 p.m. Well, this is the hottest meeting of the year, but I doubt that. We'll see. First item on the agenda is the approval of the June 8th minutes. Lorraine, did you get a chance to look over the June 8th minutes?
Yeah, when I finally got them.
Pass that one up. Thank you, everybody, for making the edits to them. Any further comments on them?
That's good.
If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the June 8th minutes.
Motion to approve.
By Soledad, second by Lorraine, all in favor? Jim, I'm gonna let Jim in really quick. I did mention that Jim is joining us online, but not as a voting member tonight. So just as a member of the public. Okay, next item on the agenda is public hearing for special permit number 2026-4952. Dairy One Cooperative is proposing to open a walk-up ice cream window. Oh, sorry. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. Thank you. Yes, I also forgot another thing other than you, Carla, but go ahead.
I was just waving back to Lorraine.
Okay, well, Carla was waving at us too, so.
Okay, and I think you said I'm a member of the public. Oh, okay.
Here's the observer community part.
And Susan Ainsley here, trustee liaison tonight.
There you go. And Jim, I don't know if you heard because you were joining in. I wasn't sure if your audio was connected or not, but I did mention that you're not a voting member tonight.
Okay, I thought I heard the tail end of it, but just wanted to make sure that's on the record.
Okay, hearing out, I skipped over the public comment piece of it. I was getting too antsy, but I will entertain a motion to close the public comment period. Motion by Kevin. Second by Lorraine, all in favor. Okay, now the next item on the agenda is to continue the public hearing for special permit number 2026-4952. Dairy One Cooperative is proposing to open a walk-up ice cream window at 720 Warren Road location, X parcel number 46.1-1-4.2. The request requires a special permit for a low-traffic food and beverage use within the business and technology district. Mike.
Well, we have Jim Rowe online. Jim was here last week and gave us a lot of information. Since then, I did get back the county GML 39. They had no recommendations for it for any additional conditions or anything to the special permit. In the meantime, Jim, you'll see on here your tree count, which I sent to you, that Jim provided. If you, my numbers for our 30 units per acre, they would be required to have 76.8 units are required. They have 122, so they have more than enough units to meet the tree law. The only other thing you'll have to talk about is you mentioned last week about sidewalks. That's up to you what you want to do. You can discuss that with Jim. But also you have the new version of the short EAF with the changes that we requested last week. And also go through that tonight and do the resolution for that. Other than that, it's all yours.
Jim, anything that you wanted to add or share with us?
No, I don't think I have anything extra tonight.
Okay. So like Mike mentioned, the one thing that we needed to talk about was sidewalks. We kind of briefly mentioned those at the last meeting, and I will share my screen here to make it easier for people to see too. There you go. So one of the things that we had discussed was, obviously this is the parcel here that we're talking about. One of the things that we had discussed was at the last meeting was whether or not to request extending the sidewalk kind of from here where it comes off Northwoods up to the next crosswalk, which is the parcel that we're talking about here. So I wasn't sure if people had thoughts on that.
So, last time we talked about that small piece of sidewalk when you were showing there across the street. So I've taken a better look at that, and that is It looks like an extension from the airport. You know how the airport has the walkways in? That's all it is. It's a paved.
Yeah, this little piece right here is,
It's directly across from the Northwoods driveway.
oh, okay.
And then it ends right behind the first building on the airport property. The path goes behind that building. So it's really small.
Yeah, so this is where Lorraine, right? So it comes up from Northwoods. There's this crosswalk here.
Right, and when you cross over, it's on the other side and it's just like a,
Back.
asphalt or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's
Yep.
just, and then it kind of cuts right past those
Yep.
bushes and it goes into the airport, yeah.
And so we had talked about briefly just at the request to extend it, on the Dairy One side of it from here up to the next piece here where there is another crosswalk that connects with the airport up there, and there is a path that goes up towards the airport.
Yeah, that would probably be in front of Dairy One.
It would be, yeah, yep, it absolutely would be, yeah. Yep, if we come back here. It would be, here's Dairy One, there's the ice cream window. So we had talked about extending it from down here where Northwoods is up to this piece right here where there's a crosswalk over to the airport.
Yeah. That
I
makes
don't think we had any other discussion other than that. So, I think it would be good. I mean, honestly, one of the things is we're talking about making obviously always the village more walkable, and especially something like this, having an ice cream window there, I would think that we would to be a little more accessible as it stands now. If people are coming up from Northwoods, they'd have to walk on the grass or something one way or the other, hopefully not in the road, but I think it would be a good idea, but that's just me.
Unless Jim wants to run it all the way to Bomax. No, I'm just kidding. And I'll have sidewalk to walk on. No. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Do we know how many feet that is?
I do not off the top of my head.
Here, I can figure it out. You still want to talk about stuff and go over things, I can go and figure out what the linear footage is.
I don't know if it's is important.
I'm just curious,
Kathy?
You know,
And
I
you.
don't know if we have a
Yeah.
requirement,
You need to know what that is in order to be able to put that in as a condition.
right?
Okay. Yeah, do you want to go figure it out and we'll keep going at it?
Over your.
Yeah, we can go over the part two, yeah, yep. And I'll go back. Jim Monroe, I know we had brought that up last time. Any concerns or thoughts about having that sidewalk extended from down here by Northwoods up to the crosswalk to the airport?
No concerns. I think it'd be the right thing to do. I did have a question, and that would be, is there a requirement for what the makeup of that sidewalk would be? Could it be paved like the rest of the walking path around the business and tech park, or do you want it to be cement?
I think that would be up to John Courtney.
Yeah, I was gonna say our DPW superintendent, he would fill you in on what the exact requirements are, and he's got all that information. There's code about the width of it and all that stuff, and I don't think there's an issue with grade here or anything like that. I think it's pretty flat around there, yeah.
It's pretty
So,
flat from.
Yeah. But there's the curb cuts there, yeah. So John would have some information about that for sure.
So actually, I have a question. So who owns that property from the Northwoods driveway up to Dairy One's property? Would that be an issue to are they going to have to get approvals to put a sidewalk there if it's Northwoods property?
Would it be in
Is
the,
it? I'm looking at this,
Yeah.
the tax map.
beyond that condition though, if we do get to the special permit approval tonight, are there any other conditions? Those are the two laws, the tree law and the sidewalk law. Clearly trees are okay. We're talking about sidewalks now. I don't think there's anything other than the normal general conditions we'd put on there, so.
Just that Jim gives us free ice cream. No.
There's a
First
button
round
for
on
that.
us.
Yeah, there's a button for that, yeah.
They own to the corner.
Is that's theirs too?
Yeah.
Okay, so no.
Oh, wait, no, you got the wrong tax map. One second. 46-1.
46.1-1-1. She's trying, there's, Lorraine had the question about who owns
No,
this.
they own to the corner.
They do own to the corner, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tree, how they cut out the trees right now.
Oh, okay, is that chunk there, okay?
Yeah, if you go from Northwoods, the
Yep.
end of that section and go to, let's say, the first egress.
Yep.
Right to there, it's about 167 feet.
Okay.
If you were to go all the way over, you're talking about 300 feet, which is a lot
Total.
total.
Would you say 350?
300 total.
Approximately 300.
Do you have a inkling of what type of sidewalk John would require that be?
Orange concrete.
4-inch concrete.
You know, the general linear foot.
John has a whole
Okay,
specification on what
Okay.
village sidewalks, because we have to maintain them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Done to a certain spec, he needs them done too.
I'll make sure that Jim hears that. So the village will maintain it all the way up, right, to Dairy One?
yeah, it would be it would be, once it's developed and built, the village would.
Once it's developed and it's in, then they would have to dedicate it to the village, similar to what we did with Mice Meadows.
And then we maintain it.
Which is nice, yeah.
And we already maintain this up Northwoods, right? That's been dedicated to us, I assume. What about this? That's not, I assume, dedicated to us, or is it really just like a little chunk like that? That would
I have
be,
no idea.
So do you want the 167 to the driveway or the whole 300?
So the 300 would be past the first entrance to the second entrance, is that right?
Over
yeah,
that.
but the 300 would be all the way from Northwoods, all the way up here.
Can you just show me on the,
Yeah, so it'd be all the way up there. It's kind of hard to see, but like right up here in the corner of that box. All the way down here to the Northwoods intersection at the bottom. The would you say 160? The
67.
167 would just be up here to the first entrance from Northwoods to Warren.
well, I mean, it would be nice to have it all the way up to their second, to the driveway that that'll be their entrance for the ice cream. Which makes sense, right? Because if you don't do that, people are going to be cutting through the Dairy One parking lot. And during, they'll have employees pulling out, people pulling in, and get a little, I don't know, it might make sense to run the sidewalk all the way up to the second.
I don't know. I knew you were gonna ask me that and I don't know.
Okay.
Can't remember. John had quoted it one time. That's why I don't know if you want to finalize this right now. I know they want to I'd rather have them get their ice cream stand in there, but I'd also like to get some more details. On what the sidewalk's supposed to be. So I'd like to see, if you are gonna approve it, I'd like to find some way, Natalie, this is where you come in and how we can approve this so they can get started with things and deal with the sidewalk if that's the case.
Well, I think it needs to be determined how long of a sidewalk, and then any sidewalk would be installed to the specifications of John. Courtney.
Yeah, I don't have an estimate of what we think it is, because Mike was just asking me how much I thought.
Would the cost?
Would it change in mind?
Yeah, would it change your mind if the cost was, I mean, it's gonna be about double to extend it all the way up?
First entrance is right. It does about double the cost of it.
Just by sheer footage.
I have another question for the planning board.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm leaning towards the shorter sidewalk so that they can be, I mean, I remember from the Chipotle quote, it was quite expensive for the sidewalk. And I mean, if they aren't able to access I understand like the conflict of, you're entering a parking lot, but I also don't know how it would look to have a parking lot and a sidewalk running parallel to each other. Seems like it might be a little bit of like an odd setup. I don't know.
Just texted them.
Oh.
So can you remind me what the,
Natalie texted him.
Text, John, you just texted me.
can you remind me what the approximate cost is of the sidewalk?
That's what we just.
That's what we're trying to figure out from John.
Do you remember what the cost was for tour?
I thought it was $30 a square
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, online, it's a big range. It's like 28 to 68, so I mean.
Oh,
It's gonna depend where you are in the
Yeah.
country.
oh,
I don't know how good John is at texting, if you think calling him would be.
John has a linear footage.
Yeah,
Okay. You want to go through the seeker as we. work
yeah,
the-
we can do that and wait and see if, because we don't really need to know until we go through the special permit and we need to put a. So, okay, so we did go over the, oops. We did go over the, part one of the short EAF last time. There were a couple changes.
Jim made those changes and got it back.
So I think that's all up to date. So if we want to, we can go over, oh, we also got the 239s back, you mentioned that.
Yep.
Okay. So we can go over part two if you want, that's in this packet, next to last page. It's technically last page, so. I'll read down through these. If you have any comments or anything, just let me know. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations, no or small? Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land, no or small? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community, no or small? It's back there. Keep going. Yeah. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area, no or small? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway, no or small? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities, no or small? Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, no or small, public-private wastewater treatment utilities, no or small? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources, no or small? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, e.g. wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna, no or small? Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems, no or small? Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health, no or small? Ice cream's great for human health, right? Everyone's okay with this? Okay. Then we can move on to the seeker resolution, which is in your packets. This is the Village of Lansing Planning Board Resolution for seeker review of special permit number 2026-4952, adopted on June 30th, 2026. This matter involves consideration of the following proposed action, special permit number 2026-4952, which I read out of the agenda at the beginning. And B, on June 8th, 2026 and June 30th, 2026, the Village of Lansing Planning Board, in performing the lead agency function for its independent and uncoordinated environmental review in accordance with Article 8 of the New York State Environmental Conservation Law, the State Environmental Quality Review Act determined that the proposed action provided for herein is an unlisted action in accordance with seeker. Thoroughly reviewed the short environmental assessment form and any and all other documents prepared and submitted with respect to this proposed action and its environmental review. Completed its thorough analysis of the potential relevant areas of environmental concern to determine if the proposed action may have a significant adverse impact on the environment, including the criteria identified in 6 NYCRR section 617(7)(c), and completed the short EAF, and now therefore be it resolved as follows. We have two options. Option one, a negative declaration. Option two, a positive declaration. I will entertain a motion that we find this a negative declaration.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Lorraine,
And
second by Soledad. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Did you hear back from John Griffin? No. Okay. You gonna go try to call him? Yeah, we'll see. While Mike's trying to get a hold of John, though, we can go ahead and we can,
Sorry, if we could ask Jim if he has a preference on the sidewalk. If you wanted it to go through the parking lot or if you wanted it to stop.
In terms of preference, I guess I didn't think about going all the way across the frontage of the property. I went out and walked from Northwoods to the first egress point, and it seemed fair. I'm not in disfavor of doing what's right, so we'll do whatever the board decides. Certainly the cost would be something to look at.
okay,
Thanks, Mike.
question?
I'm just wondering what the front of Dairy One looks like there. Like, is there a sidewalk along the building once you pull in that first egress where people could like quickly cut across?
Just
to like
partially, so just from about that doorway of the building
Yeah.
on that way, there is one.
That's correct. Just from the doorway to the corner where the ice cream parlor would be.
Okay.
But either way, it gets people off Warren, which is better than.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people, well, I know I've done it before. When I've been out walking, I always cut through their driveway and go over the little bridge and then come out your other driveway. So, because I hate walking on Warren Road, but I think, I don't know if anybody else
You're
does
the
that.
one.
I'm the one, yeah, I'm probably on camera somewhere, yeah.
Well, either way, we can so close the public hearing, we can go ahead with general condition, and we can talk about the special permit if folks are ready for that. So, you're good with that, Mike? Oh, I guess I can sign section 3.
And what are your thoughts about this?
And I would guess if it's cost prohibitive for them, I think it's fine going up to the, that makes the whole thing stop in its tracks because we have to have them do 300 feet of sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to
Right.
stir up, I mean, especially because they're a not-for-profit, like, I want to have a sidewalk that's going to cost them thousands of dollars.
Yeah, if it was some brand new development, I would think different.
Yeah, that'd be different, 'cause-
And I think it's already improving
Yeah.
improving the situation there, which I think is good. Is there any way, hold on, John?
I think it checks.
Hey, John. That's a good question. For the planning board meeting, the linear footage cost for sidewalk. What's your estimate?
Level.
Okay, thank you. 2 minutes and it affects it to me, so.
Okay, perfect.
I just thought it'd be kind of interesting for the board to know that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is because you don't like whereas you want, like you were talking about, you don't want any unburden on,
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, while we wait for John to text us back, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Motion by Lorraine,
Second?
second by Soledad, all in favor? Okay, we do have to go over the general conditions before we move on to special permits, so I will go down through these, and if anyone has a question or a comment, let me know. 1, it will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare. 2, it will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the vicinity or neighborhood. 3, it will not impede the orderly development of the vicinity or neighborhood and is appropriate in appearance and in harmony with the existing or intended character of the vicinity or neighborhood. 4, the street system and off-street parking facilities can handle the expected traffic in a safe and efficient manner. 5, natural surface water drainage ways are not adversely affected. 6, water and sewage or waste disposal facilities are adequate. 7, the general environmental quality of the proposal in terms of site planning, architectural design, and landscaping is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. 8, lot area, access, parking, and loading facilities are sufficient for the proposed use. 9, the requested use or facility conforms in all other respects to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. And 10, the applicant has shown that steps will be taken where necessary to meet all performance standards and all other applicable general regulations. I will entertain a motion to say these requirements have been met.
Motion.
By Soledad,
Second.
second by Lorraine, all in favor? Okay.
All right, John had to say approximately by the time you do material and labor and Jim, it's 5 foot wide, 4-inch thick. I'll give you all these specifics. I'll email all these to you. He says approximately $23 a foot. So you're talking about $3,800 for one section, or you're talking about $6,900 to go all the way. Just to give you guys an idea.
What's the first number?
38,
4,800 versus 69.
3841.
Approximately, just a guess. That's
Right.
$3,800
Yep.
Yes.
versus $6,400,
69.
6,900.
6,900. I think we could make this easy tonight. I'm okay doing the 6,900 and doing it all the way across.
Okay.
Nice.
We appreciate it, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we will go through the special permit and then when we get to, and everyone has a copy of that in front of them, when we get to the special conditions, we will add one in there with the right language that Natalie can tell us what the right language is, since we don't have it in front of us. Right, Natalie?
Yes, I'm writing it.
Oh, there you go. See, by the time we get there, okay. So this is the Village of Lansing. Okay. This is the Village of Lansing Planning Board Resolution for Special Permit Number 2026-4952, adopted on June 30th, 2026. This matter involves consideration of Special Permit Number 2026-4952, which includes the following proposed action. Dairy One Cooperative is proposing a walk-up ice cream window at their 720 Warren Road location, same as what I read off at the beginning. On June 30th, 2026, the Village of Lansing Planning Board, in accordance with Article 8 of the New York State Environmental Conservation Law, that's the seeker resolution that we just did. And C, on June 8th, 2026 and June 30th, 2026, the Village of Lansing Planning Board opened and continued a public hearing regarding this proposed action, and therein thoroughly reviewed and analyzed the materials and information presented by and on behalf of the applicant in support of this proposed action, including information and materials related to the environmental issues, if any, which the board deemed necessary or appropriate for its review. All other information and materials rightfully before the board. And all issues raised during the public hearing and or otherwise raised in the course of the board's deliberations. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. We have two options. We can grant or we can deny the special permit. It has just the 3 conditions on there right now: soil and erosion control measures, building permits, things like that, stormwater management, and then required permits, approvals, things like that you would get for any special permit. We do want to add condition D on here, which is
Installation of approximately 300 linear feet of sidewalk connecting the current sidewalk at the corner of Warren Road and is that
Northwoods Road, Northwoods
Drive to the existing sidewalk connection at the northeast corner of the tax map parcel 46.1-1-4.2. And the written approval by the Village of Lansing Superintendent of Public Works of the plan for all proposed sidewalk curb cuts and sidewalk connections required to be installed.
That's not good.
We'll carry it out.
Took it from Eric's.
I was gonna say, we have plenty of them in other places, so, okay. I will entertain a motion to grant and approve special permit number 2026-4952.
A motion to approve?
Motion by Lorraine, second by Soledad, all in favor? Aye. There you go, Jim, thanks, we appreciate it, and Mike will be in touch for, I guess, next steps.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to try some ice cream up there at some point.
Sounds good. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Okay, the next item on the agenda is an informal presentation. Scott, how do you say your last name? Groover, okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't mess it up. So Scott Groover will be presenting a potential renovation project to the former Lake Watch Inn located at 1635 East Shore Drive, tax parcel number 42.1-1-28.2. I will bring it up on the map, and folks do have for part of the discussion, it is pertinent. There is a Tompkins County property map listed in the packet in front of you. So Scott, if you want to come on up and introduce yourselves and let us know what you're thinking about doing.
So, my name is Scott Gerber, as Mike says, nice to finally meet you guys. I've been talking to Mike, for off and on for months now. He's been incredibly helpful and here to basically start a conversation about a family fun center at that site. I think it would be great for the area in general and beyond. Before I get into the specifics of that, I would like you to know a little bit more about me, to know that I'm competent to put this all together. But I grew up in Vestal, not too far away, and my parents owned a business, very successful. They retired and sold it, and sold both businesses. I just wasn't meant for towing and auto repair business, so I went to West Point, and then I did the 2 free years. Then I went to Buffalo, got my MA in Industrial and Organizational Psychology at University of New Haven in Connecticut, which is where I met my wife, which brought me up to Ithaca in 2005. She came here to Cornell to get her PhD. When she finished, we moved down to Philadelphia to start a family and use her degree for potentially more money. Excuse me. She has since passed away a few years ago. And my first inclination was, I want to go back to Tompkins County, I want to feel this again and be near the water. And I just started brainstorming, and I came up with Family Fun Center. And I actually just happened upon the Lake Watch Inn, knowing it was kind of coming to an end of its run, and I just dropped by, and somebody happened to be there. We started that conversation, and it turns out it's really, I mean, you guys can weigh in on this as well, but it's really a great spot for a family fun park. It's total of 11.8 acres between the 2 parcels. Second parcel is the town, so I don't want to spend your time on this. But I think it's about 2.65 acres, the parcel up front. The majority, at least for now, of the business would be on there. There'd be mini golf, batting cages, zip lines, various things of that nature outside, and then inside the building would be food, beverage, non-alcoholic beverages, and an arcade with coffee and stuff like that, and make like a little cafe, that sort of thing. It's very early in the process, but since it is kind of a large undertaking, I wanted to get your feedback before we, went any further and spend the time and money on engineers and architects. So that's kind of the background part of it, and essentially what I'm trying to do.
So
The parcel
Yeah.
is, we've had this before, part of the parcel, the building and most of the parking lot, you should see on the map that I gave you there, you see the pink line.
Yep.
And where you'll see the ones running up and down, you'll see a complete line going up and down. That's our municipal boundary. That's on the back side of the building.
And we see that path coming off the back of the building that's intersected by that purple line. Anything to the left of that is the town.
So
Okay.
what this does, we'll be working in coordination with the town, which Scott has already spoken with their zoning officer. He's spoken with Heather, the code official, and Scott, who will probably be leaving, but I've also talked to Heather. And this is one of those things where they're gonna have to get a dual approval. But we handle our business of, what's gonna happen on the village is, part of the parcel is within the municipality of the village. And if we do happen to approve whatever, it'll be contingent, like we've done before, that whatever is on the town, within the town municipality, that they approve it for what's happening there. Scott had brought up a good point that what if part of the zip line part of the mini golf or part of the batting cages are on the municipal boundaries. I think we can find some kind of wording as far as special permit goes. As far as building permit goes, that should be strictly left to myself and their code official, whoever it's gonna be at the time, to find out who inspects what at that point. It shouldn't derail this project at all, like who's gonna inspect what. This is basically what Scott's gonna be doing to the building, and that whole area. So when he gets into detail, or if you guys have some suggestions for him, I can tell you this, that unless you're building you don't plan on extending the parking lot, or you're basically gonna renovate the building and then add maybe out back, you were talking about batting cages and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are very familiar with this. I was just out there 3 times today. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but hopefully. Here's the park. There's this portion up here, which is really flattened out, almost like they planned on extending the parking lot, but it'd be perfect. It's like 3/4 of an acre a little over half an acre for a mini golf course here. The zip line, we're still figuring out where. I believe over on this side, there's some Corps of Engineers wetlands that we are looking at. I just started working with the architect and engineer on kind of where to put things. So we're still a little unsure of the site plan for now, but primarily in this space back here would be the exterior construction. And then obviously in the building itself, there's some work to do there.
Everyone does know where this is.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been much going on at Lake Watch now. This was somewhat unique because this building was had a non-conforming use. And that they have possibly done an event 1 or 2 times a year, which everyone knew about. And so they retained that being non-conforming. Now this will come into a conforming use. And then what we'll end up having to do is we'll take a look at the complete site plan if you do come back to the planning board. Look to complete site plans so that we can determine, how much parking you're actually going to need, that type of stuff. Right now, the use is happening there. It's kind of a dormant. This will be much more activity. This will be much better for the village, be much better for the town.
Is it an allowed use in the low res?
It depends on if he has the food, and if he has food or he has something else that we're gonna have to figure out. I gotta know exactly what's going on in there.
I inquire about that question.
Mhm.
What were you referring to?
Oh, if it was a permitted use under the zoning code.
Have outdoor recreation out there.
I just assumed that that's what you would, not that I could.
It would be with a special
With a
permit.
special.
I don't know how much like outdoor, indoor,
Outdoor versus
if
indoor.
it's both.
What is
And
that area
for
zoned
some
as?
odd reason, indoor is not allowed in low residential, which you'd think it would be
For
over
meeting.
outdoor.
Most of it is gonna be outdoor.
And we are modifying our zoning code. That could be, some,
What is that? That's,
Want me to read the
that's a farming district
Is it- oh, okay.
overlay, but it's still a low res
it is, okay.
zone.
I don't know if you're finished statement. I'm happy to work with you guys. I really think there's genuine opportunity here to make everyone happy, to bring something really good to Lansing and surrounding area. And I don't think anybody needs to be upset. I mean, the folks that are selling the lake house, they're gonna make out great. The town's gonna make out great. The surrounding area's gonna make out great. Family's gonna make out great. Vendors, everything. I honestly want everybody to be happy with all of this. So any feedback you have for me, I'll take it and, work it out or find ways to make it happen.
Lorraine, did you have that?
Oh, no, when we were talking about, I didn't know if you wanted me to read the definition so we could.
Oh, no, I think Mike would be the one that, figures out
Yeah.
what the exact use is. Yeah. Okay. Any questions from anyone on the board?
I have a few questions. Sorry.
Yes.
So who are you here
Oh,
with?
yeah, this is Jack, this is Desmond, and I get,
Hey, hi.
14, 12, and 10.
Have you guys had any input on the thoughts of this based on, you guys are probably like the target demographic of who we'd want to use it? Yeah. Okay.
I'm convincing them to move away from their friends, and they're on board enough to be.
So you currently live
In
in,
North Wales, Pennsylvania.
oh, okay.
We just
Okay, so
got
it's-
pictures for the house to put up on the market tomorrow. Or yesterday, I'm sorry, and then drove up last night, but, we're coming back to the Tompkins County area. I don't know exactly where we're gonna live. I lived in Connecticut last time, but this is an incredible site for this sort of thing, and it would be a shame to not use it for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I'll be happy to answer any questions. If you have more questions.
So Scott, are you familiar with their comprehensive plan? Because it sounds like a lot of this is in alignment with that. So a few of the things that we're focused on are more opportunities for youth to have things, as our population, the age is actually kind of going down a little. We have younger families. So I think there's a lot of alignment there, and I would recommend kind of reading it. I think you'll like it. There's a lot of things that I think this will bring to the community.
Yeah.
For sure. And so I guess, yeah. So I guess my next question is, are you guys familiar with, do you have any friends locally in the area? And have you, okay. So have you, perfect. So have you, that's right. Have you all had the opportunity to talk to them about the idea and what are their thoughts? And
I've been friends with Pat Woods for 16, 17 years. And as soon as I mentioned it to him, he was all on board, and he's actually working with me to work on this project. I told Doug Levine, and he was like, I wish you had done it 15 years ago when my kids were younger. But it's the hit to everybody I talk to. And honestly, I've talked to people who are like, I don't know if zoning will allow it, but it'd be super cool to have it. So it kind of, the bank is all for it. Everybody I talk to is super excited. Even people who I'm, friends down there that I'm sharing it with, they're like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So
what I like about the space is that it has a little bit of, although it's on a very busy highway.
the setback is huge.
The setback is huge. So I think there's a lot of potential. I think that was one of my concerns, is if you're going to have a lot of activities for children and you're close to the highway, any thoughts around that? I'm guessing you've probably thought about it a lot.
I had thought about if we're going to even consider putting a tower in front of the building or to the side of the building, and put some sort of permanent concrete. I don't know. They use them in front of government building and things.
Pillars.
Pillars.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Something along those lines to make sure that they're anything out front is completely protected.
Okay.
I do agree with what Soldat said. And one thing I will say is, kids need a place to go, and this is the perfect opportunity for them, a place to hang out. And I think kids of today are different than when I was a kid. Kids of today, they're more interested in, staying close knit with their friends. A lot of kids, I volunteer at the YMCA. A lot of kids come there just to hang out. They play sports while they're there. So I think this would be.
Speaking of people I know Frank pretty well.
Oh, okay. But the other thing I wanted to say was, you do realize that we have really long winters here. And last year we had a really long winter. I mean, it started way earlier than normal and it lasted longer than normal. So your outdoor activities, you're not going to make any money on. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. You realize that.
I wrote the numbers. They seem to work out for my taste. And as far as the winters go, I grew up in Vestal.
Oh, right. Okay. So,
5 years. So,
yeah.
Or not 4 or 5 years, but I lived up here 5 years, 15 years. So yeah, I shoveled driveways, huge driveways, just for fun. I'm used to the weather and how cold it gets. The other option is just taking it to South Carolina. I've got 2 sisters who live down there. We've talked about it, and I love this. So I'm 100% committed to making this happen somehow.
Well, and so Lorraine kind of asked the question I was gonna ask. Do you think that it will be something that's year round or more seasonal? Because okay, you've got the inside, yeah, I was just
Yeah,
curious.
it's really stuff enormous, and I can fit like 300 people, and I plan to have an arcade set up, and I don't know if you guys have been on those huge simulators that are like 4 rows of 4, and they just move the whole thing, and you feel like you're driving through a jungle or you're flying through New York City or something like that. I'd like to have a couple of those. As we put everything together, I'll be able to nail down what I'll have and what I won't be able to get until later on, but if all works as I plan, I'd like to make this kind of like bigger than just your typical, like, mini golf or, like 10, 15 attractions somewhere in there.
Indoor recreation. Or we're gonna have to look at a little bit deeper. That use, indoor recreation, that use is not in that district. So we'll have to try to figure out.
And I question why.
Why?
I mean, we are updating the zoning code and we kind of have reviewed all of these things in theory, but in practice, it doesn't quite make sense to see why an outdoor rec use would be permitted, but not indoor, where the buffering of noise and everything would be more than an outdoor use.
And we can go back over our notes from that.
Yeah,
section
we can
too,
see
but-
why we thought one was
You
better
can
than.
say traffic, but if you already have outdoor recreation. you can-
Right.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Right.
That may be something.
Well, I don't have a vote on the board. I'm just the attorney, but as a mother of 3 young children who lives right around the corner and to every birthday party facility in the town, this is needed and it's very much needed. So I appreciate the interest in the area and the interest in bringing something to the area that is definitely needed and wanted by a lot of parents and kids. So I think it would be a very successful venture for you. And I would really encourage you to look at the indoor space and birthday party rooms and stuff, because there's about 4 places to have an indoor birthday party from late September to early April. We've been to all of them, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. So with the 10-year-old, she still had parties like similar to that. These guys graduated to like, oh, I want to go to a Phillies game.
Yeah.
We did have 10 friends. So, yeah, it's the birthday aspect of it. That's going to be a big part of the business, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys have had chicken speedies.
Yes.
Yeah, well, of course you're from Bethel, right? So.
So yeah, I kind of brought them down to Philly. They were here with all my neighbors, and friends, and everything, coworkers. So I've been like shuttling cases down there for years. I'm planning on having those as kind of like the signature food. Probably hot dogs and hamburger, whatever too. But that being like, and I have a feeling that that's going to sell through the roof. I think it's going to just take off. I make really good chicken wing or chicken speedies. I can attest to that. I don't think it's more of actually. It's a great option for like sales and stuff like that. People can use them for meals and just come by and pick them up to go. So it is kind of getting a little further into the restaurant aspect than I want to. But the plan currently is to maybe just put them on a skewer like that and not make it too much, demanding on the staff. But between that, the coffee and the arcade, I would like to have batting cages inside for year-round use because you really need it in winter anyway. So, yeah.
Are you gonna ask her mine? Dodgeball?
Oh, I really am dying for a trampoline park, but I understand the liabilities exist. I'm really angling for the mall for that, so I'll let you off the hook, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, they're great. And believe it or not, I love the bounce, but I got an A in gymnastics at West Point, so we can move on. But I'm a little I guess concerned over that business because we just saw one go out of business after like a year in Mansdale, Pennsylvania. So
Interesting, okay. Fine, for the mall.
Great stuff.
okay, that would be perfect with mall.
Yeah.
Rating's pretty cheap, right?
Right? Huge, like department stores just asking for a trampoline.
Okay, if there's no other questions, Scott, we appreciate you coming in and, as you make further progress, chat with Mike, and if you need to come back before the board, for something more formal, Mike will take care of that.
I've got to do some research and probably talk to Natalie a little bit about avenues for, you've got a couple, three different uses there. And we got to kind of find an avenue if this is even, if it's possible or workable. Like I said, we are working on our zoning at this point. The outdoor recreation is definitely a use. But we will.
Is that in use, you said?
It's definitely a use.
Okay.
We will discuss it more and I will get in touch with you.
That sounds great. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. And if any of you are so inclined, you can reach me at fgruber@gmail.com. I am open to all feedback. If you want a certain ride there or something, let me know and and this goes to anybody. I'm open to all feedback. So I appreciate your time and look forward to you again.
Thanks, Seth. Okay, next item on the agenda is to continue the discussion of village code changes and corrections. It's perfect segue. Look at that. So, I sent everybody a couple emails and didn't get any feedback from those emails. So I'm hoping that people have feedback to share tonight. But a couple things. One, this is a lot on here. So I did a few things. You'll see down the use column, the things that are crossed out in red, those are going to no longer be uses. There's a note to the far right about what happened with them. So if you work your way down assisted living facility, the recommendation was to combine that with special care facilities. Those group of yellow there are all new uses that we had discussed. So those are previously at the bottom of the that spreadsheet we were working on. So those are all there. Obviously, we need to come up with definitions for them, which Natalie provided a lot of suggestions, which everybody has access to, and that was one of the things that I hope folks looked at. Same thing with kennel. Large equipment sales and service is just a rename from large equipment. That was a recommendation from Mike. Light industry and manufacturing gets combined with light manufacturing industry or commercial assembly. Next one down, light manufacturing industry or commercial assembly. There you go. Medical and dental, that was just a rename. Members only fuel station, we were just going to remove. The redevelopment on larger pre-existing non-conforming use, that one was an old one that we had in place from, I think you said so that's not needed anymore. Though the 3 residential ones are just strictly a rename to lump them all together. And then the 2 sales one's a rename from small scale sales and one is combined with office studio service. If there's other things in here, by the way, I took the opportunity also to put together sales, large and small scale. So if there's other ones on here too that we think we should combine, like if we want food and beverage, low traffic, food and beverage, high traffic. If there's other stuff we should lump together, that's easy to do. So sales, repair and maintenance, that was something, I mentioned that one. And then the special care facility is just something to update the definition to include some of the text from the assisted living facility up top, which is gone. And then I did cross out discotheque from theater / I'm sorry. But so there's a lot in here. That's just the use piece of it. There's obviously all the stuff over in the actual chart itself about what districts we want to add stuff to, remove stuff to. That's kind of it at a high level about the changes. But that I think, so Mike and I are going to meet on Tuesday also to go down through all of this just to make sure that everything lines up. And to work on some of the things like, okay, well, we said we wanted to get rid of assisted living facility, combine that with special care facility. What in the definition or elsewhere in the code that was part of assisted living facility needs to be incorporated down into special care facility. So that's not so much hey, we need to come up with a new definition other than we have to update the definition to include whatever it is that we might be losing from some of those things. Members only fuel station will just go. Redevelopment on larger pre-existing non-conforming use will go. But we just want to make sure we don't miss any of that stuff. I'll pause there for a second. If folks have questions.
You have to come up with that.
Yes.
We're going to allow it.
Yep. So definition, if it was in my mind, it wasn't just definitions and where these new uses should go. So really anything that's a new use, where it should go, or should it be a use that we don't want in the
Doing that one,
village?
yeah.
You talked about that for some of the other ones.
I'll just say kennel was only added because it was incorporated into definitions for residential.
Yes.
I'm not saying that we need to discuss.
But it was discussed enough where we said,
Yeah.
hey, it's a use, or we don't want that anywhere, and
Yeah.
now it's not a use, and there you
Yeah.
go, that's great. So we can purposely leave it off.
Yeah.
But it'll at least be, part of the record for the discussion. Yeah.
Yes.
So I have just some questions because I'm kind of catching up. And so this, once we finish with this, it's kind of like set. Can we go back and make changes to it, or is it a living document that at any point in time we can change?
So right now, it's a living document. What we'll do, once we say, yes, all these uses are right. Yes, we have definitions we like for all of them. We like the districts we've picked for all of them. Everything seems to be the way that we want it. We will recommend all these changes as one big bundle to the, there's an exception to that. One big bundle to the Board of Trustees. Lorraine and I will probably go, since I think we were the two from the very beginning on it. Maybe you were, Kevin, I forget. No, okay. So we'll probably go and we'll be there to just introduce it, answer questions as they work down through it. And we'll obviously send it to them ahead of time too, but so we'll make the recommendation for the trustees and we'll be there to introduce it and talk about the changes, and then see what their thoughts are on them too. So right now we can make as many changes as well, but then later on, say we go through this and we're like, yep, everything's perfect. And a year down the road, we say, oh, wow, we could really use this new use. That's much easier. This was more of a comprehensive look at all the uses in the entire chart and districts and definitions and everything. If later on we want to add a new use for something, I don't know what that would be. That's easier. That's us saying, here's the new use. Here's what we think the definition should be. Here's what we think it should be. Let's recommend that to the trustees. It's much smaller than all this.
And so is the thought that if we include things like data center and heavy manufacturing and dispensary, drug and alcohol treatment centers, that the thought that now we are approving a new use that we previously hadn't approved? And is there any reason to talk about it?
So a lot of these things, just because we don't have a use or definition for it. So like the drug and alcohol treatment center, we didn't have a use for drug and alcohol treatment center before. We have one in the village. Somebody wanted to put one in the village. Mike classified it according to the uses, what he thought it fit into the best.
Okay.
So it's not, oh, well, yes, we're now allowing this. It's really trying to make Mike's job a little bit easier about when new things come up. Oh, here, yes, we have a definition for that thing you're asking about. Here's, how it's defined. In that case, it's a drug and alcohol, council across the street there. In that case, Mike classified it one way. They thought something different. They went to the BCA, which is the normal course of action for.
So I actually done a few definitions, and that was one of them.
Data center?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, I did do data center, but I did do drug and alcohol too, but I dug up because I'd forgotten about that the code enforcement officer initially classified it as hospital, and then the zoning board of appeals later determined that it fell under special care facility. But then I contacted my friend ChatGPT, who helped a lot with that and actually gave me a draft definition.
Great.
We could probably use. I mean, we'll have to tweak it probably, but I have it right here. Yeah. Did you want me to read off? Okay. A facility licensed or certified by New York State that provides assessment, counseling, medication, assisted treatment, detoxification, withdrawal management, outpatient treatment, residential treatment, recovery support, or related services for individuals with substance use disorders. Such facilities may include inpatient, outpatient, residential, or day treatment programs, and accessory medical, counseling, educational, and administrative functions. I can send these to you.
I would send them, yeah, I think that captures a lot of the ambiguity that came up when they originally, that's just, and I'm not picking on them, that's just a very good example of, a recent example of something that came in and we were like, I don't know where that fits, I think it fits here. We don't think it fits here, we think it fits here. So I think that would be a good one for Mike to look at too, and say, if he had this definition back then, would it have fit there? And it sounds, yeah, exactly, some of the words that you said.
What I was looking for.
Yeah, he didn't have them.
Didn't have a specific in any of the existing definitions.
Yeah, I'll send everybody everything.
Yeah, that's great.
The other one, some of the definitions too, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth us
We don't have to talk about every one of them. I'm glad that everybody worked on some definitions. Thank you.
The document, I couldn't edit it, so I couldn't, I think it was locked.
Is by that, yes, on purpose. So when we had originally set it up, we didn't want anyone just going in there and making changes to it. So I'm the only one that has access to change it, and I didn't make any changes to it until we all agreed in a meeting what those changes should be. And then, yeah, so that we didn't lose track of, oh, well, Soledad thinks it should be a plus and that should be yellow. No, it's not what happened. I don't know.
Do you think it would be beneficial to have a Google Doc just of definitions where everyone can add, but no one's allowed to delete? So then everyone can like put in suggested verbiage for us.
The only bad thing about that is we won't know if changes are made.
We can track changes in it.
Yeah,
I think
track changes.
Number
For that, yeah.
definitions, like
Yeah.
if there's multiple definitions that we're considering, just do 1, 2, 3. And so like if a number has been added, and then we can print them all off and review them at the next meeting.
Yeah, well, it'll be a full document. You can edit
Yeah.
it that way. Just, if you have a Lorraine can put a definition there. If you have something different, just add yours underneath it with like, don't change, don't change Lorraine's. Put another one in there and we can.
Or maybe, and when you're adding, you could even put your name in parentheses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Initials afterwards, so we know, yeah.
Yeah.
I also had, I did look into the data center and I pulled up the town of Dryden's description. And so I have that. And then I, of course,
Well, and Natalie has some too.
oh, did you too? Okay.
I think data center was in there.
I have data center, but I don't know that I
You would-
defined it. that way.
I don't know if it was in there or not, but you had sent a bunch of them too. They were at the end of a couple documents.
Oh, I don't think they
We
were.
didn't have data
If you
center
look
for
at the end
data
of that
center.
document, I
It was-
think
no,
the data center's not in that one.
No, this was Natalie's,
Yeah, there's no data center.
no,
Okay.
but she had the cannabis. She had a bunch of definitions for the
Yeah,
cannabis.
I knew there was some.
I don't think there was data center. in
There we go. Data center wasn't in that, because that came after.
Separate.
Yeah.
And like there may or, I do have a moratorium law drafted with a definition of data center, which does use the town of Dryden, so we probably have the same definition.
Yeah, probably. But again, I don't know if the town of Dryden is the best fit for us. I mean, and so I did come up with a GPT based on
I'd be curious to hear what it is, just stuff.
what the date that
See if it fits from the techie.
don't tell anybody I'm pulling this stuff off of
That's
ChatGPT.
what everyone's doing. Where do you think ChatGPT got it from? It didn't come up with it by itself.
Easy, because you can type in exactly what you want
Yeah.
and then it puts it together.
I thought of that too, but I thought originally we said we weren't gonna use AI.
Well, I think we just weren't going to like plug the.
Yes.
Okay, so I was like trying to find things from.
No, I took
was like,
all of our meeting minutes and I put them into just a little LLM, so nothing else will get trained on it while we were working on this, just
Yeah, when my-
feel like, where did we talk about this? And it's like this day, these pages, let's go, thanks. Yeah, vastly, yeah.
Okay, so this is what ChatGPT said. Data center, a building, facility, or campus primarily used for the storage, processing, management, transmission, hosting, or cloud computing of digital data, including artificial intelligence computing, high-performance computing, colocation services, or similar computing functions. A data center includes servers, networking equipment, cooling systems, backup power generation, substations, water and thermal management systems, and other accessory structures and infrastructure necessary to support digital computing operations. Cryptocurrency mining facilities may be regulated separately.
It touches on all the
I thought it-
words there.
I thought it's different. It's different than the town of Dryden, but I think it makes more sense.
Yeah.
The town of Dryden starts out an industrial use facility that is primarily used for the storage management, processing, same thing, transmission of digital data, which houses computer and network equipment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but they've got digital data storage and processing as a principal land use on a parcel. Equipment and accessories customary to data centers, including but not limited to air handlers, power generators, water cooling and storage facilities, utility substations, and other associated utility infrastructure shall also be considered part of a data center. So it's,
Similar.
yeah, I kind of like the ChatGPT one better.
You can make a definition.
Yeah.
Thermal.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll create a new document. I'll send everybody the link. And you can start putting stuff in there. Were there other ones that,
There was one more that I did and it was, wait a minute. The heavy manufacturing.
Mhm.
I was trying to find examples in our county and surrounding counties. And I couldn't find anything heavy manufacturing. All I could find was heavy industrial. So those weren't really good examples, but,
So Mike,
We had a definition.
yes, Mike had a definition.
oh, did you?
It's in that document, I think.
In Mike's
It
document?
should be in there, yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
No, it's okay.
So many.
I don't have it written. I know there's.
Yeah,
been-
we'll have to
this is a
combine the
lengthy
definition.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a suggested definition for that in that,
It was from another meeting.
yeah.
I don't know where it went.
Yeah, but so at least that one, there is and so when Mike and I meet on Tuesday, we'll also grab the ones that were kind of recommendations from Mike too, and we'll put those in there. Or in the case of, hey, we're moving, this, we're getting rid of this use and combining it with this, we'll at least have a recommendation for include this verbiage in there too.
Sorry about that.
No,
I probably.
so that's why, yeah, there you go.
That was, maybe that was way back when. Was it further?
That one was further back, yeah.
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 It's in my pile here.
Yeah, it's in with the document that has, here's the use. Like, it was kind of, remember how we broke off into teams of two? And then there was a combined document that had all the recommendations in there written out, like, no change, good as is, need new definition. Under there was a definition for, I have it, I saw it recently. Well, actually, I probably have it here. Yes, I think.
Yeah, I thought they were very good. Suggestions on that.
Oh, I found it. Light industry manufacturing. Is that it?
I
Wait.
think that's a different,
This was like Mike's.
we're gonna have a different one for life.
This was back in Mike's early definitions.
Yeah, oh, maybe it's yours. I thought it was in here.
I don't think I have a heavy.
I thought Mike put one in here. Oh, additional definition, heavy manufacturing, the production of products for use or sale using labor, machines, tools, and chemical or biological processing or formulation, most involving industrial design in which raw materials from primary industry are transformed into finished goods on a large scale. Light had a different, yeah. So it's under light industry manufacturing. It's got the current, it's got a possible, and then it's got an additional definition for manufacture heavy,
Oh.
which is where that came from.
Oh.
So it is Natalie's, but with Mike's input in there too. Mike's like, that sounds good. I came up with it. I remember that. Man. But so that's that one there. I think that was interesting though, and we'll have to revisit actually, I can just revisit it right here while we're here. Indoor rec club, I wonder what the discussion was about. that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That
did.
was like three definitions.
Yeah, I think we'd have to go back to some of the original ones, but for this one, it just says, it has current. But there was no, no.
There was no
recommended change.
suggested,
Yeah,
but
so
I don't know what the district, those,
it sounds very similar to what public or private service club. Okay, so commercial indoor recreation, bowling, tennis, swimming pool, billiards, arcades. I mean, yeah, I think it is. And
and
again,
then outdoor
yeah, it's,
is public or private developed park, golf, tennis, rod and gun,
Yeah.
boating, swimming, commercial recreational uses. So why would you permit
yeah, I'm
an
curious.
outdoor
Yeah.
pool but not an indoor?
And is,
That's why I'm saying is, this is a perfect example of a
Yeah.
living document, you know,
Yeah.
find an example like that, it makes. I don't know why we overlooked it, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you're gonna have cars there for outdoor, okay, the year changes or whatever, or the season changes, you're gonna have the same cars there for indoor, so what?
And outdoor rec is more noisy than indoor.
definitely, yeah. You would think outdoor would be a bit more restrictive.
But then you add to that, why wouldn't you serve food kind of, if
Yeah.
you're doing something like that?
Absolutely.
So I don't know what you want with it.
I think
What
that's,
do you do if, so for something like that, there's three uses, do you go for all three uses need to be cited, or is there an ancillary use?
It would be all three uses, it would require all three uses. As far as zoning
Yeah.
wise, when it comes to classification, so it depends on how that's categorized
Yeah.
and what separation that.
but I mean, you've got to classify it one way. You can't classify it three ways.
And if it's an assembly area, so it gets inspected every year. So there's three different steps.
Well, I think food and bev is a bigger discussion, but I think indoor rec it makes sense.
But this goes back to that thing, what he's talking about as presented.
No, I know.
The primary use is recreation. Food is ancillary to that.
Well, yeah, but you
As a
still need
use.
to have that be a allowed use.
Right, yeah.
Can't just get around it being
Sure.
ancillary. But we do have, I mean,
I would go.
I mean, I would assume when he first started speaking about this, that first thing I started to think when he talked about food, because I didn't know what he was doing inside. We only talked about the lines of mini golf and whatnot.
Mhm.
Was okay, how would he get a use variance? That's, how are you gonna show hardship?
Yeah, it's not self-inflicted harm. You
Yeah,
bought a property knowing it can't be used for that.
yeah, so it's. But then I started thinking, well, do you combine outdoor and indoor recreation use? Do you combine it? You can't really do that because some places you don't want outdoor recreation. If there's a lot of
Well,
houses.
so far outdoor rec is allowed in
Everywhere,
low,
so,
medium,
yeah, yeah.
high, everywhere except research.
Just research.
And indoor is not allowed in low and medium.
And that
Doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense now.
I know in Lansing, the rink they have
Yeah.
food, they have indoor, they have outdoor. I wonder how they define that space and if it's worth us potentially looking at that and creating a similar definition.
Yeah, that's a good question. How do they define?
You could do indoor recreation and have something as a eating stand or something, or.
Yeah, maybe like ancillary food service where
Yes.
it's not like a restaurant,
But this isn't that, I mean,
ancillary to
And
the.
he even said like takeout, right?
Yeah.
People could come and pick up and leave, you know.
well, it's kind of like, right, you
So
go, we
that
go
would be
to,
another use to think about.
It may be, but use that, what you're talking about, the ancillary, put it in with indoor recreation. Because in a lot of places.
Oh,
where
be
you
it permitted
have-
with indoor rec.
Yes, within-
Yeah.
I'm thinking like if you, we don't here in the village, but like if you had a golf course. Same sort of thing.
We have that driving range, but it's
Yeah,
closed now.
yeah, I was gonna say, no, we don't.
And they didn't have food there.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
but right, I mean, if you go to a lot of golf
Yeah, if you
courses.
put a golf course out where you're probably gonna be putting in low density residential. Wouldn't you have an inside area to grab some food
Yeah.
or something
One would
naturally?
hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something.
I mean, dairy one.
Like up in Trumansburg, the Trumansburg Golf Course is like right in a residential area, isn't it? Yeah. it's
My
like-
house, yeah, and people go there to golf.
They have a restaurant in
But
there.
like, we go there to get food sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
How about Dairy One? I mean, Dairy One is now gonna be serving those. Yeah, but
But I think ancillary food and beverage use, but we have to define like what would make that
Yeah.
ancillary. If predominantly
right,
indoor rec.
Yeah.
With,
or outdoor.
it would be Mike deciding what's
Yeah.
ancillary, I guess.
Whereas you're not gonna go to normal low traffic food and beverage. Play a game. You're gonna go there to eat.
Right.
Right, we're not talking like Dave and Buster's here, right?
Or like Tully's where they.
Right, yeah.
Well, I think years ago I went to a Dave and Buster's. I mean, it's all games, right? It's a whole big,
Like full-on restaurant in there.
they do see, okay,
Food and very large
Yeah,
drinks.
same thing with like, oh,
Yeah.
for, well, so.
Something to think about.
Let's talk about that. Also bring it back. I'm just curious while we're here on the topic of indoor rec club, just because it's fresh.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people want to go back and look more. Is indoor rec something that we should allow in low density and medium density residential? Or is outdoor rec something that we should not allow in low density and medium density residential? I think that those two things, I don't necessarily have to align, but it seems to me right now they align the wrong, I don't know what the right way is, but it seems like they're out of alignment already.
Misaligned, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the correction is to that, but maybe you and I can chat about that Tuesday too?
Yeah,
Okay, next time,
but
sometime
my need,
to-
like I said, my knee jerk reaction, the outdoor rec.
Yeah.
Is better off being allowed. in
Absolutely.
density,
Yeah.
Because it has more room.
Yeah.
And then
it's-
you're, like Natalie said, if you use. The indoor rec have some. Yes, you're allowed some
Yeah.
eateries in there or something. I don't know, you can probably.
Yeah, well, I'll see if someone has a similar
Well,
definition.
and so then would that be that kind of ancillary thing, would we would have to then go through and figure out like. Is it just it's not a use, right? The use is indoor rec or outdoor rec or skis. But then there's this ancillary, use. Would we have to figure out?
Something's permitted because you're using it as an indoor or outdoor rec.
Yeah, but so are we saying that if we had that, it would only be permitted in indoor or outdoor rec, or are there other uses on there too, where maybe you would want to have
We can
something
go
like
through
that?
and see.
And that's my point.
Undertaking?
Right, probably not. Tomb the hot dog, yeah, I don't, but
Yeah, like
maybe there's,
museum.
maybe, I don't
We
know.
don't have one, but maybe.
I mean, like if you go to, oh, yeah, no, not the Discovery. I was just thinking, I'm sure that there's some out there, but like a hospital, they have the hospital up there, they have
But
a,
that would be employee food and
oh,
cafeteria.
I'm not an employee there and I've had to eat there more times than I would like.
Oh, CMC you're talking.
Yeah,
about. Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the only other one. I don't know. But the other thing is too, we could start with the rec clubs just because like we have an example of that where it makes sense and then if you
Yeah.
need to add it to other places, right? There's a lot where I don't think you need it, like you said, undertaking. But theater and nightclub, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Discotheque.
Discotheque.
Okay, well, at any rate, um. Yeah, I'm hungry.
And the outdoor rec, I mean, the.
I don't think,
season of use is so
Yeah, I think it
limited
would be
that
the-
I don't know. I mean, I like,
it would go with, I would think that it would go with indoor rec.
what do you mean?
Like
the
the
two
ancillary, the
zones
food,
together.
yeah, but like outdoor, I don't know, that's almost like,
There's like a golf
That's
course,
the
you
thing,
have
yeah.
a clubhouse
Yeah.
that you go and eat at.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking maybe the thought at some point is you don't want a Dave and Buster's to go into a low density residential.
right,
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, that's different than like a golf. So I mean, it makes sense and I don't know.
So maybe that's the right thing though, right? Come up with this thing that's available as an ancillary use in very specific areas like, yeah, with very specific language. And
Yeah.
Not super
We
specific,
define
but
that,
yeah.
so it doesn't.
yeah, so Dave and Buster's doesn't, yeah.
Like some percentage of your
Square
profits. is
footage or
Base or-
something, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the swim club,
Yeah, we have a snack shack there.
there's a snack shack, yeah.
It's all prepackaged stuff. I mean, it's all like ice cream.
From BJ's.
Yeah, it's literally all.
This is like,
Amazon Prime, I know the
No,
girl that does
it's
the snack. Some of it is short,
Picked up.
but I know the girls that do the snack.
Jeez.
Sleeper engines.
Yeah.
yeah. So is this a house right next to it?
That is
That's Beacon.
Beacon, that's the catering
I
company.
think this is Beacon.
Going in there?
I can't, okay. So Beacon, I think it's.
Oh, that is the ball pit, right? That's the rec. center?
No, that was a dry cleaner, wasn't it? That big building right there? Or something? I think it's empty.
Colonial Cleaners?
Yeah. Wasn't that?
Six.
Colonial Cleaners, right?
Yeah, I thought it was the cleaners, yeah.
They must still be.
I need to look at the street view.
I thought they,
They close.
maybe not. It's a dry
This,
cleaner.
oh, that's the house.
Oh, that is a house, yeah. So the dry cleaner must be someplace. Maybe it's further up. Yeah, it's a house. It's a little house, yeah.
They would get a notice of the special permit if they came.
There's still things going on in Beacon. That's what's his name, right? The guy, oh, what's his name? Owns Purity now and
Oh, yeah.
a couple other restaurants.
Lots of other stuff.
Is that him that owns Beacon?
Oh,
They just do catering, right?
yeah, I don't think they were having events. Well, at any rate,
I've never. seen
different
that.
conversation.
Yeah.
But so I'll create a definition document. I'll send the link out to everybody. Go and pop your thoughts in there for anything that's new or take a look at what's that column called? Notes. And the ones where they say like, alternative definition suggested, we should just review them too and make sure that Mike and I'll put some effort into it too.
I still think we should go through this whole list just
I think we will, but just,
right at the top.
Yeah.
It's
I
just-
think we will, but let's get some suggested definitions from
So
folks
we
in that
know.
first.
what
We can
we're
say,
talking About.
yes, that sounds good, or that's way off, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if there's ones where we don't have something and we need Natalie to do a little research and come up with
Mhm.
some sort of recommendation, that's great, or ChatGPT. Yeah, okay,
Maximum happy hour effort.
maximum happy hour effort,
Do that.
okay.
And we can't forget about Mike's zoning.
Look, that, the little chart that goes along with.
Yeah, we
the-
need that temporary.
Carnival thing and
All
stuff.
the
Yeah,
service chart.
I think we decided let's get this done. Then
Yeah.
we've got.
I know, but I know we promised you that.
We want to just take out carnival while we're at it.
Forever.
Maybe summer.
I haven't forgotten.
Yeah, we got one coming.
The Summer Festival.
I do have a question regarding this.
We wait until other business.
Yeah,
That's cool. Any other discussion on this stuff? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the trustee report. I will not be providing a update to the trustee report since everybody was there.
oh, that's right, we were.
Yeah.
It's like those months where Pat was here and they were both like, both on a holiday or something. I was like. Does anyone have any questions about the trustee meeting that you were all? Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to that, by the way. I thought it was a good discussion again, just in general. Okay, next item is other business. Lorraine, I know you have at least one other business item, as you just had it in your hand.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask about yard sales. What's the rule? Is that fallen in this category?
That's one of those things that we had talked about. We had kind of talked about like
Good talk.
commercial versus non-commercial, like block party. This is, again, I'm not the code officer, but like a block party, it's not, I mean, that's like meant for the residents there. You're not like selling tickets. I would say the yard sale would maybe be the same thing, but.
Well, what if the resident is in a residential area that's having a yard sale every weekend for 3 days of the weekend, or at least 2 days, Friday and Saturday, consecutive weeks, like for a month now?
Sounds very specific.
Sounds like somebody doesn't want whatever's left.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not their neighbor, I'm gonna tell you that, but there's other people that are their neighbor across from me. Anyway, I'm watching. I've been patrolling, Kevin. I mean, is there some sort of like, I didn't know, I know we talked about this before, like.
What's that person doing that you think he would require a permit to?
Well, he has a lot of items and they've been spread out all over his front yard for consecutive days. There's people parking on Dart Drive. And it's right before the curve. I've seen some dangerous situations as I've been driving by and people have their car flashers on as they're parked out front. And it doesn't look very appealing out there. And the person's also put up a tent so he can store his things in the tent when he's not having a yard sale. But he's been having them every weekend for the last month. And he's also not mowing his property. And as you know, because I had already complained.
For that.
Yep. And it's still not mowed. So anyway, I just wanted to know if.
I remember us discussing it, and there was some discussion about not wanting to police residential sales like that and just kind of allow that to happen. And we didn't want to dive into restricting or requiring them to come get any.
Maybe that's what we talked about.
That's what it was, but the block party was part of the same.
Yeah, block parties, like we just wanted to let the residential areas and residential uses go on.
At least under that piece of it, right? If
Yeah.
there's something else that's going on,
Well, I mean, it's like, how do I say it? It's like he's running a business out of his yard. Like every weekend, Friday and Saturday. I don't know about Sunday because I keep forgetting to drive down there on Sunday. What's going on? I mean, it's one thing to have a yard sale for one weekend, but for consecutive weekends, I would think it'd be really annoying to the neighbors. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing that's really annoying me lately are those big signs that are leaning against the daycare fence. You know, one sign I could probably handle, but two signs next to each other, it just looks not good. And if you've got to advertise like that, that's a problem.
I am doing what I can do with that.
Joe Biden selling for the first time, and I think it was those ones, maybe it was some other one. No, I think it was those ones because the colors seemed eerily similar to some of the McDonald's signs. And I was like, somebody got a block deal on this. I think you asked, printed them up, and they were like, "Oh, cool." Well, they're the same sign. I was driving down past Buttermilk last on
Yeah.
too, and they had the same gigantic yellow signs.
But that one's even, Mike, that I was down there today, that one's even bigger.
They are some. If you think the ones here at this McDonald's are eye-catching, go past the one downtown. You can see them.
Well, you missed
Mission
it.
accomplished.
You missed it because the daycare center originally had one of those signs posted on one of the village lampposts.
Oh, okay, I didn't
I'd
know.
like to take care of that right away.
That can be, I took that down, I can take down.
But now they're leaning, well, you saw,
Yeah.
it just looks really tacky, yeah.
Well, I suppose through the process, you said doing
Yeah.
everything.
On a brighter note, I noticed on my way here that the old Oriental restaurant sign is
Oh,
gone.
was it gone that long? Okay.
I noticed it today. I just noticed it on my way here.
I mean, we knew they would take it at some point.
But I was-
Build a new place and leave that one there.
I was anxious to see that removed, and it is, it's gone.
How long does, Bollinger tell me?
Oh, did you see my note about Adelitas? So last weekend, was it last weekend or the weekend before? I was over there and I'm like, I'm just gonna go snoop around Adelitas and see. Kathleen was with me and, and so just happened that there was a worker inside the door and we were kind of just peeking in the windows and he opened the door and wanted to know if he could help us with anything. And we're like, oh, no, we were just wondering, we played dumb. We were just wondering when you were gonna open or whatever. And he didn't speak really good English, but he said that, he said something about the 30-day waiver.
Yeah.
And he said, and we hope to open in like 3 weeks. So we asked if he was fully staffed and ready to go, and he said no. And he sounded like something like his parents were gonna be the cook, do the cooking, and then he talked about their other restaurants that they had, and that he already put out a notice saying that we need more staff. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. That's all I know.
The fact that there was somebody there is promising.
Yeah, she was like shooting and
I've
such.
seen trucks there as like doing something, presumably loading, unloading, maintenance. Something.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so maybe there's progress, yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Slaughter?
I have just a question. I don't know if it's an update, but the sidewalk that we require when, like what we did tonight and Chipotle, for example, do we have in our rules a specification of how much sidewalk they need to provide?
How it's built.
Like, no, not how it's built, but how much?
Is
Is there any, because I felt like today I was like, well, if we had like a rule that we could go back and say, well, besides here.
Yeah.
And I can send you the site.
Okay, I should probably have gotten more in depth.
Okay, there's a lot in this thing.
Yeah, because I was, yeah, okay, perfect.
4520.9.
Yeah, we just incorporated that like a handful of years ago.
Yeah. What was the cost? You said $23 per?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's because I looked online and it's like, oh, it's like 0 and 1,000. I was like, oh, that helps. That's a lot. Yeah.
I'm thinking it
says,
would be like $30,000.
Sidewalk should be located on the property frontage within the village right of way unless this requirement is waived by the planning board. But I'll send you the full sidewalk law section. There's a bunch of conditions for considering waiving. You can also do an escrow if sidewalk doesn't make sense at the time.
Yeah, it's intriguing because, I know it was the developer who's building for Chipotle, but such pushback on us doing 2 pieces of sidewalk, right? Like we were saying on both sides versus, but the cost was pretty similar. It wasn't that much more square footage. And Chipotle is a multi-million, almost $1 billion company. So I was just,
Well, and some of it's not just that too. I mean, some of it's too is, especially in that corridor, do we need sidewalks on both sides of the street? Presumably the village doesn't have to, accept these things. It gets dedicated. We don't have to accept it, but, for all these sidewalks that we do, because that's, something that the village wants, we're also not responsible for maintaining them. So that's, every one of them is a little bit different.
okay, just curious. Okay.
And then there's all kinds of other weird little things like going up at East, there was that 8-foot section. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
That's it for me. Thanks.
Yep.
So tomorrow, Revive VR opens over by me.
What?
It's called Revive VR.
Oh, is that opening tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh.
So my
Where is
wife
that?
actually stopped, the old
In the
home
Hugo Mall.
improvement thing on the corner.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was it.
They
Okay.
took that over. My wife stopped and talked to them and we got like $5 early
Ah,
passes.
really?
Yeah. And he called me today because I did on their site. They have this spot to put in your email. So I was like, I'll just get on their mailing list. Oh, no, it was that you weren't to throw a party there. So the guy called me to throw a party. Put your email.
I'm invited?
But I thought I would talk to him about like like, a bunch of Cornell staff there or something, because it looks pretty interesting. You put on the goggles and have a gun, they won't open space, they have a golf simulator. But their opening is tomorrow. They actually said I could have come by today and check it out.
Are they serving food? All
You
right.
go to Sumo right next door.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw they're gonna tear up the ramps over here, Trip Hammer,
Yeah, there was a whole article. I
Yeah.
saw that.
even all 13 right up under us.
So, they started downtown and they're way down. I think they started way down by Home Depot. Was it that far?
Yeah, it's not that far down, but they're,
But so they're working at night. And so what I did, primary day, I worked the polls, but I was out on Bostwick Road. So when I came back through at 10 o'clock at night, I was like, what is going on? They make the lanes are like one lane and there's construction workers all over. They got spotlights everywhere. And it was that way all the way up Meadow Street, all the way. And I was like, oh my God. So when I saw that article, I'm like, oh my God, that's what it's going to be like on Route 13.
I laugh because, and I know it's not the case, but it's the appearance, right? So I came through Sunday night from Buttermilk and it was dark out, but I mean, it's quite the operations because they push the stuff to the side of the roads and they bring it back in. But there's a hole there and there's clearly something wrong with it because there's like 10 people just staring and looking at it, going like this. I'm like, yeah, well, they found something they shouldn't have found. They did something they shouldn't have said. Well, I mean, yeah, that, it's DOT, so I guess we'll find out when we find out.
As soon as they make their way up the hill, we'll find out.
They were saying they're not doing the bad spots where all the lights are. I don't know how you would do that. But yeah, where there's not really any potholes in this stretch, but
Well, we just had this stretch out yonder. Not less than 5 years ago, I think. Yeah, so. What else?
that's all.
We had our first commercial area advisory committee meeting. And then, and then it was cut very short because there was a tornado warning, so. People had to leave the village hall. I was on Zoom, so I stayed in my office. But so we at least got through introductions. Folks did seem, really happy to be engaged with us, so that's good. I know Carolyn's spearheading it, but coming up with like just a vision statement to kind of go along with the charge of that committee. And Carolyn, I think she sent us an email earlier, Lisa and I, just to get, Lisa and I and Carolyn are the only folks that, we're on the village government here. So asking, us to just kind of give a primer for everybody else there about zoning, that's a great idea. So, I think at the next one, which is
The third, I think this is only the third Thursday.
it's in July. We'll give an update on that and we'll bring this up a little bit too, obviously. So, yeah, so that was exciting. I don't know if there's anything else. I know there's lots going on in the village, which is nice. Oh, yeah, everything else I have is questions for you, but I'll let you give updates first and see if you answer the questions before I ask them.
How about you?
No, what you? No. No, Natalie. No, I'm just joking. I was gonna go to Natalie last. Sometimes I do mix it up here, by the way. It's been a while. I usually do Natalie and you, but sometimes I might.
The BZA heard the appeals for the main one's the density appeal for that parcel that's on the corner of Warren Road and Bomax. In my opinion, the BZA and Natalie handled it exquisitely, perfectly. Stayed on topic. BZA denied them the added density. So we'll see what happens from here out, but I think they did an excellent job. Excellent job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Were there other variances they applied for that they did?
And there was no sense.
Okay, so they,
And they decided not to.
okay, so they tackled the other one first. I got it. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Well, the applicant decided.
Okay. That would have been, yeah.
And I have begun tearing apart the best document from New York State.
Right.
Hopefully, I was hoping to have something for this meeting, but
We've talked about that too.
there's been BZA, there's been a lot of meetings going on in the last month, so I just haven't had time.
I saw on the news yesterday that the town of Clay is working on their zoning for BES. So it might be something you want to look into. They had a meeting coming up, but it's on the Syracuse News. So it's a big deal up there.
I've got a lot of information on what I want to do. It's just a matter of filtering it down to what is actually useful.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you got questions for me, which you do.
No, I was just gonna ask you about the parking, if that process is, or the driveway around the ring or around the mall, if they're still, you guys are still.
It
looking
is
through that.
all in our lawyer's hands right now.
Oh, good, because there's a really big hole over there.
See, good thing I waited last for you, see? Yeah, no.
Yep,
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:35 PM. Motion by Soledad. Second by Kevin, all in favor? Thanks, everyone. Have a happy 4th of July weekend and stay cool the next few days. Water, don't go outside. I was gonna say go outside, Melanie